Hello, and welcome to Senior Wise Journey. Have you ever looked at the quiet moments of your day and wondered if this is what the rest of the journey looks like? For many of us, after years of raising families, building careers, and bustling through life, the silence can feel loud. The path narrows, friends may be fewer, and we find ourselves walking a stretch of the road alone. It's a reality many of us face in our golden years. But what if I told you that this chapter isn't an epilogue, it's a new beginning? It's not about surviving solitude, it's about mastering the art of thriving within it. Today, we're not just going to talk about coping, we're going to unlock 6 profound secrets to crafting a life brimming with joy, purpose, and deep, unshakable contentment, especially for those of us navigating this chapter on our own. This isn't about filling time, it's about making time full. Let's begin this beautiful journey together.
Part 1. The Anchor of Routine, Your Daily Compass. The first pillar in building our vibrant new life is perhaps the most foundational, the anchor of a daily routine. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Routine? I've had a routine for 40 years. I'm retired. And that's precisely the point. The structures that once defined our days, the alarm clock for work, the school run, the weekly project deadlines, have dissolved, leaving behind a vast, open sea of time. Without a compass, it's easy to feel adrift, to let the days blur into a gray fog of inertia. But a routine in this season of life isn't a rigid cage, it's a loving act of self-architecture. It is your personal compass. It's the gentle whisper that says, "This day is yours. Let's make it matter." Think of Robert, a man who spent his life as a civil engineer, designing bridges that connected communities. After his wife Martha passed, the intricate blueprints of his own life seemed to vanish. He'd wake up whenever, eat sporadically, and the television became his primary companion. The loneliness was a heavy cloak. He felt he was no longer building, just waiting. His turning point wasn't a grand gesture. It was a simple decision to design his day, just as he once designed a bridge. He bought a beautiful leather-bound journal. His new blueprint started with waking up at 7 a.m., no exceptions. He'd put on some classical music, stretch for 10 minutes by the window, and then brew a single perfect cup of coffee. From 8 to 9, he'd read the newspaper, the real ink-on-your-fingers kind. After a proper breakfast, he'd take a walk to the park, not with a destination in mind, but with the intention of noticing one new thing each day. The afternoons were for his projects, building a model ship, organizing his old photos, and at 4 p.m. sharp, calling one person, a friend or a grandchild. Slowly, miraculously, the world came back into focus. The routine wasn't about filling time. It was about honoring it. It became his anchor in the turbulent waters of grief and solitude. It gave him predictability in an unpredictable world, reducing the low-grade anxiety that comes from formlessness. It provided a quiet rhythm, a heartbeat for his days. Your routine can be your own. It can be simple. Maybe it's the ritual of setting out your clothes the night before, the commitment to writing one page in a journal, or the practice of spending 20 minutes in your garden. The point is this: by giving your day a shape, you give your life a sense of purpose and forward momentum. You become the engineer of your own peace.
Part 2. The Elixir of Movement, Your Body's Fountain of Youth. They say that motion is lotion for the joints, but I believe it's much more than that. Our second secret is the elixir of movement. It is the closest thing we have to a genuine fountain of youth, not for how it makes us look, but for how it makes us feel and function. As the years pass, it's tempting to embrace the stillness, to choose the comfortable chair over the walking path. But stillness, my friends, is a thief. It quietly steals our strength, our flexibility, and worst of all, our independence. Let's not confuse movement with punishment. This isn't about running marathons or becoming a bodybuilder. It's about weaving consistent, joyful motion into the fabric of our daily lives. Think of Eleanor, a retired librarian who had spent her life surrounded by epic stories of adventure. Yet her own story was becoming increasingly sedentary. Bending down to tie her shoes felt like a chore. A walk through the grocery store left her winded. "I'm just getting old," she told herself, as if it were an irreversible verdict. But then, her granddaughter gifted her a series of DVDs on Tai Chi. Hesitantly, she tried it. The slow, graceful movements felt strange at first, but she stuck with it. Every morning in her living room, she practiced for 15 minutes. Soon, she noticed small changes. The stiffness in her back eased. She felt more stable on her feet. Emboldened, she joined a water aerobics class at the local community center. The water supported her, making her feel light and strong. She laughed more in that pool than she had in years. Eleanor wasn't just moving her body, she was rewriting her story from a tale of decline to one of resilience. Movement is a diverse and beautiful thing. There's strength, like simple chair squats while watching the news. There's flexibility, like gentle stretching or Tai Chi. There's balance, crucial for preventing falls, which can be improved by simply standing on one foot for a few seconds. And there's cardio, the heart's best friend, found in a brisk walk, a swim, or dancing in your kitchen to your favorite song from 1968. Each movement sends a surge of oxygen to your brain, releases endorphins, nature's own mood elevators, and builds what experts call cognitive reserve, protecting your mind. Start small. Walk to the end of your driveway and back. March in place during commercials. The goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. Cherish your body. It is the only vessel you have to carry your incredible spirit through this journey. Keep it moving, and it will carry you beautifully.
Part 3. The lifeline of connection, your social wealth. We humans are fundamentally wired for connection. It's in our DNA. That's why our third secret is perhaps the most critical for our emotional heart, the lifeline of connection. In our youth, socializing often happened automatically, at work, through our children's schools, at neighborhood parties. But as we age, our social world can shrink, and we must become an intentional architects of our connections. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as detrimental to our health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It's not a weakness, it's a genuine human need. Let's dismantle a common fear, the fear of being a burden. We tell ourselves, the kids are so busy, or my friends have their own lives. So we wait for the phone to ring. Frank, a widower and a proud man who had always been the one to offer help, found himself in this very trap. His silence was a shield against feeling like a nuisance, but the silence grew into a fortress of isolation. His world shrank to the four walls of his home. His transformation began when he reframed the idea of reaching out. It wasn't about taking someone's time, it was about sharing it. He started small. He joined an online forum for history buffs, a passion of his. At first, he just read the posts. Then he dared to comment. Soon he was engaged in lively debates about the Civil War with a retired professor in Oregon and a young student in Florida. He then took another step, joining a local men's coffee group that met on Wednesdays. He discovered his stories, his wit, and his perspective were not a burden, they were a gift. He had a wealth of experience that others valued. Your social wealth can be cultivated in countless ways. Schedule a weekly call with a loved one. Put it on the calendar like an important appointment. Join a book club, a gardening group, a volunteer organization. Embrace technology. A video call where you can see your grandchild smile is a treasure. Write a letter.
The very act of forming words on paper for someone is a profound connection. Even small daily interactions, chatting with the cashier at the market, greeting your mail carrier by name, complimenting a neighbor on their garden, add deposits to your emotional bank account. Remember, loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of connection. Be brave. Reach out. Your lifeline is waiting for you to grasp it.
Part 4. The Spark of a Curious Mind. Your brain's playground. Our minds are not like old machines that are destined to rust and break down. They are more like magnificent gardens. If tended, they can produce beautiful blossoms at any age. Our fourth secret is all about that tending, the spark of a curious mind. Cognitive decline is not an inevitability. It's often a consequence of disuse. When we stop learning, stop questioning, and stop being curious, we are telling our brain it's time to power down. We must refuse to send that message. Think of your brain as a muscle. To keep it strong, you must give it new and challenging exercises. This goes far beyond the daily crossword puzzle, though that's a wonderful start. It's about stepping outside your intellectual comfort zone. Janet, a former high school English teacher, felt this keenly. After she retired, she found her razor-sharp mind felt fuzzy. She was misplacing things, forgetting appointments. It terrified her. As someone whose identity was built on her intellect, she felt she was losing herself. She decided to fight back. She enrolled in a free online university course about ancient Greek history, a subject she knew nothing about. It was difficult. She had to take notes, learn new names and dates, and think critically about the material. She also started listening to podcasts during her walks, exploring everything from astronomy to culinary arts. And she began a project she'd always dreamed of, writing her memoirs. Not for publication, but for herself. The act of recalling memories, structuring narratives, and finding the right words was the most rigorous mental workout she'd had in years. Within months, the fog began to lift. She felt sharper, more engaged, and more interesting. She had new things to talk about, new ideas to ponder. You can create your own mental playground. Learn that instrument you always dreamed of playing. It builds new neural pathways. Watch documentaries on topics that intrigue you. Visit a local museum. Learn a few phrases in a new language using a free app. Read books from genres you normally avoid. Have conversations that challenge your opinions. A curious mind is a youthful mind. It finds wonder in the world, it is resilient, and it never, ever gets bored. Keep that spark alive, and it will illuminate your entire life.
Part 5. The Compass of Gratitude. Your Inner Sunshine. Life, in its great and sometimes challenging arc, will inevitably bring loss. We lose loved ones, we lose physical abilities, we lose the familiar landscapes of our past. It is incredibly easy for our gaze to fixate on these gaps, on what is no longer there. Our fifth secret provides the most powerful antidote to this, the compass of gratitude. Gratitude is not a naive denial of hardship. It is a conscious, courageous choice to shift your focus to what remains. It is the practice of finding the light even when shadows are long. This isn't just feel-good psychology, it's science. Practicing gratitude has been shown to physically change your brain, lower stress hormones, improve sleep, and foster a profound sense of well-being. Think of George, a retired firefighter who had spent his career running into chaos to save others. When his wife passed, he found himself in a different kind of fire, an internal one of grief and despair. He replayed their life together, focusing only on the devastating finality of her absence. His daughter suggested he start a gratitude journal. George scoffed. "What do I have to be grateful for?" he grumbled. But to appease her, he tried. Every night, he forced himself to write down 3 things. The first few nights were a struggle. The coffee was hot. The mail came on time. But he persisted. Slowly, a shift occurred. He started writing, "Grateful for the phone call with my son." Then, "Grateful for the memory of teaching my wife to dance in the kitchen." And one day, a breakthrough. "Grateful for the 52 years I had with her, instead of just being angry about the 1 year I've been without her." The practice didn't erase his pain, but it balanced the ledger. It allowed him to hold both grief and gratitude in his hands at the same time. It became his compass, pointing him toward the warmth. You can practice this in many ways. You can keep a journal like George. You can create a gratitude jar, writing down good things on slips of paper and reading them at the end of the week. Or you can simply take a moment each day, perhaps with your morning tea, to mentally list 3 things you appreciate. It could be the comfort of your favorite chair, the beauty of a bird's song, or the taste of a fresh apple. Gratitude recalibrates your spirit. It is the art of creating your own inner sunshine, ensuring that no matter the weather outside, you always have a source of light.
Part 6. The Legacy of Giving, Your Enduring Purpose. There comes a time when we might ask ourselves, what is my purpose now? The answer, and our final, most transformative secret, lies in a beautiful paradox. To find yourself, you must give yourself away. Our 6th secret is the legacy of giving. Helping others is one of the most powerful ways to combat loneliness, find meaning, and reaffirm your value in the world. It shifts your focus from "what can I get" to "what can I give?" And in that giving, you receive the greatest gifts of all: purpose and connection. This isn't about grand heroic acts. It's about sharing the one thing you have in infinite abundance: your wisdom. Your life experience is a treasure trove. Margaret, a former nurse, felt adrift after retirement. Her identity had been wrapped up in caring for others. Her days felt empty. She decided to volunteer at a local elementary school simply to read to first graders for an hour a week. She sat in a small chair, surrounded by eager faces, and brought stories to life. The children adored her, they hugged her, they drew her pictures, and they listened with wide-eyed wonder. Margaret realized she hadn't stopped being a caregiver. Her arena had just changed. She was nursing their imaginations, their love for reading. This small act of giving reconnected her to her core purpose and filled her life with a joy she thought was lost forever. Your unique legacy of giving is waiting to be shared. Can you mentor a young person in your former profession? Can you volunteer at a local hospital, an animal shelter, or a food bank? Can you knit blankets for newborns or write letters to soldiers overseas? Can you offer to watch a neighbor's pet? Can you simply be the person in your community who offers a kind word, a listening ear, and a warm smile to everyone you meet? You have skills, stories, and a perspective that is invaluable. Sharing it is not just a service to others, it is a service to your own soul. It is the ultimate statement that says, "I am still here, I still matter,
and I still have so much to offer. It is how we build a legacy that echoes long after we're gone.
And so, our journey through these 6 secrets comes to a close for today. From the anchor of a routine to the legacy of giving, these are not just ideas, they are tools. They are the keys to unlocking a chapter of life that can be your most authentic, joyful, and deeply fulfilling yet. The truth is, the canvas of your later years is vast, and you hold the brush. Being alone is a circumstance. Feeling lonely is a choice. You have the power to paint your days with the vibrant colors of movement, connection, curiosity, gratitude, and purpose. The wisdom is already within you. The strength is there. It's simply a matter of taking that first, small, intentional step. So I ask you, which of these 6 pillars resonated with you the most today? What is one small thing you can do tomorrow to begin building it into your life? Thank you for spending this time with us on Senior Wise Journey. If this message has touched your heart, we invite you to become a part of our community. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new journey. Like this video if you found it helpful, and share it with a friend who might need to hear this message. Your support helps us continue this important work. Until next time, live wisely and live well.